Raj Shree ma'am. Honorable Chief Guest Dr. Raj Shree ma'am, and all the other dignitaries sitting in front of me, I feel very honored and a very big thanks to whole PIPE management that they have invited me and given me one more chance to speak on this stage. Thank you so much to the PIPE management. And wishing you all a very happy International Women's Day. The ladies sitting in front of me, I think they are the real example of this International Women's Day. I'm still a girl. So, I just like to tell you a thing. Now, this is women empowerment. Now, there are many functions, there are many programs in this relation to women empowerment that yes, we have to empower women, but somewhere we have to change our thinking. Without just giving some of the speeches on the stage, or we check in any field, whenever we check anywhere, we have many examples. Even I was inspired by a girl, not me, but actually my parents, and me, we all were inspired by a girl, and she was Sarojini Naidu. I was inspired by a girl. Now you all, there are most of the girls sitting in front of me, and you all are ladies, girls, women, anyone. But you know what? We have to change our thinking. We have to change our thinking in every field. Whenever we think, there are many places, many fields wherever we just stop the girls. Why? Everybody tell them not to raise their voice against anybody else. Why? So always raise your voice. Somewhere it's the problem of ours, it's the mistake of ours. I won't say mistake, it's a blunder that we never raise our voice. We have to raise the voice. Because if we can't do it, so we'll be sitting at our home and nobody will be coming at you. Just tell you, everyone will be just pitying you. And we don't need that. Actually, we have to raise our voice. So this was regarding to the women empowerment and this International Women's Day. And coming to I just like to tell you that you all are students. Hard work is the type of thing which everybody needs to do. Now, many of us, we just make a lot of excuses. Excuses that's related to we don't have enough money, or my parents aren't real enough to just teach me, or we don't have enough money to just go in a big university or in a big college. So those excuses at the end of your life, they always just stop. Those excuses won't work anywhere. It's your duty. Everyone on earth has come to do their duty. And you have come on this earth to do your duty. And your duty is to do that hard work. Just make yourself capable of doing something. It's your duty to do. So whenever, just do that hard work. You can't make excuses at every single point of time. And I think that you all are very lucky to have teachers like Jagmohan sir, who I'm called my grandfather to, and Rekha ma'am. When I was, let me just tell you a small story. I was 8 years old when I went to her, and she was really very excited to teach me, as I barely knew English at that time very nicely. So I went to her. She told me she never took fees. Now, she always taught me like her daughter. She is literally the world's best teacher. Thank you so much, ma'am. And she has every right, just to get angry on me, or sometimes she loves me with full of her heart. Thank you so much to these two teachers, and you guys are literally very lucky to have teachers like them. And now, coming on to my own story, let me share you some of the experiences of my story. My story started somewhere when I was 6 years old, and I was doing stage anchoring of my school's annual day. And at that time I was in 5th standard. So I was doing the English anchoring and under the guidance of Jagmohan sir. So over there, when I was just speaking on the stage, many people were like, she's a small girl speaking very nice English, as I used to study in a small town school. So, but then people started saying me that it isn't a big thing if you just go into posh areas, so there every single student, every child will be born in 3 to 4 years, they'll be speaking English very fluently. So nothing important. Then we came to know something about that accents are a type of thing. So then we learned this accent. I learned this accent. My parents just took me through the online classes from their Britain and America. And I just took those classes and I learned those accents. So recent program which happened with me, that was the biggest achievement of my life, and that was of BBC World News. As my aim is to become IAS, and side by side too want to do some BBC News anchoring. And I'll be just giving a BBC News report to all of you today. So I recently went over there for an interview in BBC, and their head anchor, he was type of Mr. James, so he said, "You're already hired in BBC." I was really very excited that I got my new job. And before that, I motivated 150 IES from all over North Zone in their training session in Haryana Institute of Public Administration. So I think that what you all need to learn from my story is there were many challenges in my life. The biggest challenge for my life was the environment. I never got the environment. I was born in a typical Haryanvi family. And everybody, my neighbors, my family relatives, they used to speak Haryanvi. I mean, they still speak Haryanvi. And at home too, we speak Hindi, never English. So environment was the biggest challenge for me and my parents. What happened next was something like, my parents still provided me that environment, and I got that environment, and after that I did it. So that excuse of getting that environment, which we every time made, that if anyone is born in a big family, so he'll be just focusing on that same path. If anybody is born in a British family, he'll be speaking British accent too. But I was born in a typical Haryanvi family, still I speak 8 accents. So I think that type of excuse, that environment biggest challenge, after this, you'll find challenges at every point of life, at every moment of life, wherever you go. At every area, every path, you'll find the challenges. But what do you have to do? Never give up. You have to just wake up and still do it. Let me tell you a thing. Failure is a type of thing which scares everyone, each one of us. It scares me, it scares you, it scares the whole world. Failure scares everyone. But that failure, what we have to do, that failure shouldn't define us. That failure shouldn't define us. That failure should teach us. We have to just take the learnings and some preachings from that failure, that what we have to do next. We have to do that thing. And I know that you all will be doing it. So never make those excuses. Always just stay on your path, never just follow someone else's dream, because it happens with many of us. We just see different people going in a different path, and we just start following that person. So just focus on your own path, just never make excuses, and your confidence is the biggest thing. And just forget about the challenges you every time face on your life. So these 3 things always remember in your life. Now, coming to my talent, let me tell you, I know 8 different accents. I have the knowledge of British, American, RP, Posh, Australian, Scottish, Canadian, Norfolk. I'm learning Japanese, Bengali these days, and Hindi, Haryanvi, English are my own languages, which I know. And else, my age is 14, and I'm doing graduation from Delhi University, Satyavati College, and recently I became the spokesperson of DUSU in Delhi University. And I do BBC and CNN news anchoring, I do anchoring in their style, BBC and CNN. So here I just like to give you a report of CNN, which I heard yesterday. Good afternoon and welcome to the lunchtime. You're watching CNN with me, Janhavi Panwar, and this is Global. Today's main news headlines are summarized that now Kim Jong-un to make new relations with the countries like USA, and now he is just removing all his nukes from his own country. So let's join live from there, South Korea, and as even spend half an hour with the Pyongyang dwellers over there in South Korea, which seems to be unbelievable for the whole world today. But let's join live from over there in North Korea, that what Kim Jong-un literally has to define the message. So thank you so much. Clap in the middle. I was about to finish my that CNN report. And now coming on to my accents. So starting from the British accent first is, British accent was the first accent which I learned, and it was a very big, I thought that what I'm learning to, or what I'm speaking, or when I took those online classes from Britain, so people were like those Britishers that are you literally going to learn, you're an Indian girl. But I took those online classes, and British is the type of accent which we Indians too follow. American. American is my favorite accent, in my personal opinion. American accent is the best accent to learn, because when I learned this accent, it took me 2 months to learn, but still, to just roll or to follow those accent rules, like rolling our tongue and all, I think that's the best accent to learn. RP. RP is a Russian pronunciation accent, and I think to learn this accent, it's from the south side there, with the Oxford and the Cambridge people there in Britain use this accent very much, and the actors or the people of the present on the TV should have this accent there in Britain. Posh. Posh is another accent like same as the Cockney over and the British, and we can simply tell it as a mixture of the Cockney and British accent over there in Britain, and even it follows some of the American rules. And moving on to Australian. Australian can be a type of accent who uses many of the slangs, and after using the slangs where people just swallow up, or there is exclamation or stop from which just people get from hearing it, because their words become very simple and just drop their G's and last words. So it's the laziest accent which I've ever heard in my life till now I've learned. Scottish. Scottish is the funniest accent which I learned, and I think it's the funniest because the way they pronounce their T's and R's are very funny, and it only took me 3 weeks to learn this accent, and this was the least time which I took to learn any accent. Norfolk. Norfolk can be just told as a mixture of the Canadian and the Scottish accent, because as they're pronouncing the way their T's alphabet are the same as the Scottish pronounce it. In other words, just following their vowel sounds, that's all in the Canadian accent. Japanese. Konnichiwa, watashi wa Janhavi desu, watashi wa 13 歳です。ありがとうございます。So these were all my accents, and I gave you a motivational speech too. I told you some of the points. I'm going to give you a babysitting report. And now coming on to my other talent, and that's English singing. I too do singing. So I just like to sing.